Hey, Philip, welcome. No, the vehicle did amazing. The trip out there was extraordinarily easy. Not a single issue at all on the way there. So, 16 hours split between 2 days of driving. Would normally be 13. And yeah, it went really, really easy. On the way back, I had the very first charger that I landed to at my first charging spot faulted and disabled the charging halfway through or so, but drove it to the Chevy dealership like 10 miles away, and they cleared the code on it and tested it, and everything was working fine, so they charged it up for free and got me back on the road in 30 minutes. So it was really, really, and then not a single problem the rest of the way home. So car functioned great, just that one charger that kind of disabled the charging on the car for a little bit, but it was very, very easily fixed. So it went very, very well. I'm thinking of putting together a video for it, even though it has nothing to do with my channel at all. But yeah, learned a lot about the car, learned a lot about how to drive long distances in an electric vehicle and how to charge it up, what's the best way to do it, and all of that sort of stuff. And really am happy I did it. I won't make that drive again. I only did it because my nieces wanted me to drive my electric car out to see them. But yeah, no, it really, really worked out well. Hey Chibi, welcome. Good morning to you as well. And actually what's good, Philip, about you're right, I can't just run down to a gas station or something and, pick up a can of gas for my car. But what's really good about it is that two things that I found out with Chevy, and that every Chevy dealership has a DC fast charger on the lot. They were required to put them in when they started selling electric vehicles. So every dealership has the normal plug-ins like I have at my house. The level 2 chargers, which take 8 hours or so to charge up the vehicle from 20% all the way up. But they have DC fast chargers as well, which only take about 30 minutes or so to go from 20% to 65 or 70%. And with roadside assistance that I have, I can get the car taken to any Chevy dealership and I can charge it there for free if I do run out. There's also a lot, and I found this out while I was looking to call roadside assistance when I thought my car was broken at that first stop, was that several of the larger roadside assistance companies, like when I called for roadside assistance and told them they had an electric vehicle, they said they would staff a company that had capability to recharge the vehicle. And it's basically, a tow truck that has a battery pack on it with a J1772 charger that you can sit there and charge for 20 minutes or so, or 30 minutes, and get 10 miles or so worth of charge. And that's enough to get you to, a dealership or somewhere else, or a charger or something like that. Yeah, that's exactly like what I was talking about, Philip. Chevy, when they started doing it, made every dealership get them. So it's really easy for me to get the vehicle somewhere because there are Chevy dealerships in every small town, along the interstate down here in the south. So even though I was driving through the deep south, if something ever happened, it was going to be a a really short tow trip to get my vehicle somewhere where I could get the vehicle checked out and worked on. The other thing is that since it's still entirely under warranty, if there was a problem with the battery pack or the charging system or something, if it's warranty work, then if you're on a trip, then the dealership wherever it's at will fix it, and then Chevy has a program to deliver the car to your home, to your final destination. I didn't know that, but it makes perfect sense that if it's warranty work and you're having to have it done somewhere, you know, away from your home because of a problem with the vehicle, that they would ship your car to you. So I learned a whole lot about that process. I've always known that electric vehicles, you know, there's still training people to work on them, so every Chevy dealership has at least one tech, even though they're supposed to have multiple at this time. So it's longer when you call a dealership and you go, I have an electric vehicle and I have a problem with it. A lot of times you're going to get, well, we've only got one tech and he's working on another vehicle right now. It might be, you know, several hours until he can look at it or something like that. The first place that I called in Montgomery, Alabama, actually, he was like, we've got one tech, but we've got so many gas vehicles. He's working on gas vehicles right now, and we can't even get him to look at your car for 2 days. You know, which was one of those things where some dealerships are going to be better at it than others. So getting work done on them in an emergency is always going to be harder than an internal combustion engine is. But Chevy tends to make up for that, knowing the fact that the maintenance is going to be lacking in emergency situations, and I'm pretty sure that's why they have that program. But yeah, it's fortunately for me, it was as simple as them pulling the codes on the vehicle, and when they pulled the codes, they told me exactly what was wrong with it, and when they reset the codes, the car, you know, got itself out of lockout and was charging fine. And then the entire another 740 miles back was perfectly fine. So just that one charger caused an issue. So I was really happy with it. But like I say, I did learn a lot. I learned a lot about charging times and range of charging states and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's exactly right, Philip. And that's one of the reasons that I stuck with. There are a lot of electric vehicle manufacturers now, and that's why I really, when I moved away from my internal combustion engine, I wanted to stick with one of the big three manufacturers, basically, because that way I knew that they had to have at least a certain minimum amount of technological support and maintenance support. So I wanted to stick with somebody who also had a large range of dealership locations. And that's why I've always, you know, ever since I had my first Camaro, I've always been a Chevy owner. So when I looked at the Bolt EUV, which is what I have, David, is the 2023 Bolt EUV by Chevy. I like the fact, one, that I wasn't going to be paying $75,000 for an EV. That just is ludicrous. Two, it was an EV that had enough range that was going to be able to get me through an entire week of driving, and then I could just charge it on the weekends when my electricity's free, when I don't pay for the cost of it on the weekends. And it was something that gave me more usable storage space than my Camaro did. So it ticked a lot of boxes for me, but one of the big ones was I knew that maintenance was always going to be a thing, and having a bunch of Chevy dealerships in every city and in small towns that you pass was going to be a benefit for me if I needed to have any maintenance done, or I was on a trip and something broke. There's always going to be a Chevy dealership, you know, within 30 miles of you. if you're on an interstate somewhere. So, like I say, ticked a lot of boxes for me when I did it, and I love it. Haven't looked back since. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, my 14.2 miles a gallon over the life of both Camaros I had. I had Camaro 2SS's, it was 6.2 liter V8. And love the car. I mean, always have. The 1967-68 Camaro is my favorite vehicle of all time, but always love the vehicles, but what I save on gas in a year right now allows me to put, you know, a couple $1,000s a year into my niece's college fund. And that was another big selling point for me. So, and I will say that my Bolt EUV will beat my Camaro off the line for about 100 feet. At the end of the day, there's no replacement for displacement. And the Camaro is certainly going to catch me really quick, but that first 100 feet, I know I can get the Camaro off the line. That's exactly right. Yep. You're never going to miss a gear in that car. You are never going to encounter wheel slip in that car. So yeah, you're going to, if you have a drag race that goes 100 feet, I'm going to beat a lot of internal combustion engines. All right, we'll get ready to get started here. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 35 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Bard gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So a couple of admin notes, and the first one is about me. I have an upper respiratory infection. I got it while I was the tail end of vacation, where temperatures were in the just above freezing numbers, which I haven't experienced down here since the weather turned spring-like in Texas. So, caught an upper respiratory infection, so I've been hacking up some really good-looking stuff and coughing quite a bit. So I'm on antibiotics for several days coming up here, and I'll try and mute my mic as much as I can. Sometimes the coughing fits just come on, but two things about it: I'll try and mute my mic, but if I go a long period of time and you don't hear me talking, then maybe I forgot to unmute my mic afterward. So send some messages in the chat and let me know, and I'll get it corrected. So I apologize for that, but like I say, I'll do my best to keep it out of your, keep me from coughing in your ears. So on the second admin note, as always, it seems to be another week goes by, we get another hot fix. One happened while I was on vacation, and I just wanted to quickly go over that just as a recap. So March 7th, which was that Thursday, I believe, of last week, Hotfix 21 went live. That also meant that that Xbox players kind of fell behind a little bit. They were still testing hotfixes 20 and 21, I believe, last week. I haven't heard that those have officially gone live yet, but those things should be coming up fairly quick. So some of the things that are in it, there were some Xbox fixes. There were also some dialogue fixes and that sort of stuff. They've made some changes to the UI on the trading UI, and they've also, hopefully, I say hopefully, crossing my fingers, meaning that they have fixed the whole 0 gold thing now. That was supposed to have been fixed in hotfix 20, I believe, and it was still occurring. So hopefully we'll check it I think we'll be able to check it today. We'll see. And see if that's actually been fixed or not. They've also fixed a lot of stuff in the scripting with Minthara. And this is actually very useful because there was some instances where you could knock out Minthara at the Goblin camp and she would not appear at Moonrise. Which kind of negated the whole ability of you to recruit her, but you wouldn't know it until much farther down the line because you knocked her out and expect she'd show up and she just didn't. And that's a lot of game to go back and replay. If you get to Moonrise and she's not there and you can't recruit her. So hopefully they fixed a few of those things. But a fairly small hotfix, but can be fairly important for playthroughs that you're looking to do certain things in. So make sure you've got that updated and go from there. So I think on our recap, at the end of last week's episode, we had moved into the Gauntlet of Shar. We had gone through the mausoleum. We had gotten into the gauntlet. We had done the first major puzzle there and had gone around, and we are just about to the spot now where we are going to have our introduction to Balthazar. And we're going to do this a little different. And you'll see that play out as we go here. So we'll just go ahead and jump right back in. Okay, so we had our first interaction with the rats here. We had gotten into combat and we had killed a couple. I'm actually going to talk to it again. I still have to speak with animals.
Very well.
You kill many, but many remain. Stop! Spare our lives or face my teeth and claws. Every little death fills my head with more thoughts. It's too much, too painful. Kill one more of us and you will pay. It shouldn't be. We should be one long dead. Instead, we are many. Scurrying, hiding, surviving. We are just crumbs of a life. Harmless nothings. Unless you test us. Leave us in peace.
Okay, we're going to do another attack here. And that's going to set us up for something later on, really, is what the intent there is. So here we have a lever.
Let's see what this does.
And that's going to unlock the doors here. And for this,
Don't waste a step.
I'm going to move everybody kind of back here around the corner. I'm going to put everybody into hiding. I'm going to toggle the group.
Have to keep going.
I'm going to come out of hiding and go in here through the doors. Okay, now in here you can see that we have some reconstituted enemies out here, or entities out here. Once we walk into the room, you can see that they're not hostile right now.
You prowl my battleground. Why? Are you friend? Foe? Thieving scavenger?
You find yourself in a dead, putrid skull, somehow hosting a tadpole amongst a squirm of maggots. Another presence lurks within, manipulating the corpse like a puppet.
A friend. An uninvited friend. I do not request help. Did she now? Enter. I will see if I have any use for you. Stinking pile of ogre afterbirth! The quakes herald the shadows. They found me.
Okay, and we find ourselves in a fight here.
Fat lapdog.
Oh, thanks, Smurf. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. So, here we have one Justiciar Avenger, and we have 4 of these Umbral Tremors, and we're going to get more help come into this as more walk up the stairs back here. The mechanic for this fight is that the Umbral Tremors are going to release more Justiciar Avengers every turn as we go. So if you leave them undisturbed and focus on the Avengers, you're going to quickly get overwhelmed. And you can even see what'll happen in that if you leave this room and pop out here and go out of combat, hide right now and go out of combat, this encounter will continue. And Balthazar's forces will quickly get overwhelmed. He will come out, and he and everybody inside of here will also die. So you can get a free kill on Balthazar here just by allowing this encounter to play out. However, when you're done, you're going to see that there's like 10 Umbral Tremors out here, and it becomes a lot harder to kill all of them and keep more Justiciars from spawning. So being able to clean up this encounter afterward is a lot harder. If you're willing to just give up everything that's in here, all of the chests and loot and everything like that, then you can just walk back out and make your way into here through this passage, the main passage through the door, and avoid all of this. But it's one of those things that you see in honor mode playthroughs and stuff like that. But here it's a fairly straightforward fight for us. So what we're going to do is focus on the Umbral Tremors and not worry so much about the Justiciars. So to do that, we're going to take advantage of where these detection cones are, and we're going to get the rest of our party in position to deal with these.
Not a peep.
And this is why I had them hidden. Is because as long as I don't step into any of these detection cones, I'm going to be able to move around anywhere I want out here. And for this, I'm going to put Will right up here at the top of these stairs and just check what he can and can't reach. So he can reach multiple ones of these out here, which is what I want. So, but for him, I want to be focused on killing one entirely. He's got 2 blasts or beams on his Eldritch Blast right now. He has the capability, I can quicken here and use my bonus action after this if I would like to kill more, but I definitely want to kill this one over here if I can. Okay. So, definitely kills that. I have the capability to one-shot these, but you have to roll really high to be able to do it.
I won't give in.
So, now for me, I'm going to focus on this umbral tremor here, and I'm going to move up to make my attack against it.
Catch a break.
Okay, and now I'm going to move right next to this Justiciar.
Better make my next move.
Sorry, this way. I'm going to get Kurz in here now, and I'm going to have Kurz go after this one at the back. Going to trigger circuitry interface here. Okay, and I should be able to one-shot that. And now I'm within range that I can move up and use my second attack to go after the Justiciar Avenger. Okay, I'm not going to Divine Smite here. Going to save those.
I can't afford to fail.
And last is Shadowheart. Hey, Lord Henry, welcome. Now with her, I'm going to take her all the way around the far side. Whoa. Where is that detection cone from? So you have to be careful. Sometimes the detection cones can get a little weird. Not entirely sure what that detection cone is from. Okay, things have gotten a little weird here. Okay, not entirely sure I'm going to be able to get into this here. Yep. So we'll wait on her initiative. So for me, I'm fine with ending my turn here. With Will, I could quicken this and go after the other. What's my range here? Okay, so that'll work. I'll spend the sorcery points to do that.
Blood comes easy these days.
Kurz, I'm fine for now. I don't need to kill this one. Again, I'm not going to be focused on the Justiciars as much as I am the Umbral Tremors, and more of them are going to spawn. Okay, and since Shadowheart doesn't really have a whole lot to do, sorry, had a cough there. I think what we're gonna do is probably just see what a cantrip hit percent is like, 70%. Okay. And if you manage to kill everything in the first round of combat, it pops you out of combat. And then more Umbral Tremors spawn and it pops you back into combat. And everybody re-rolls initiatives. The Umbral Tremors are always going to be at the end of that initiative though. So now I have full turns, full action economy back. And I can try and again kill these 4 Umbral Tremors. The thing about coming out of combat and going back in combat here also means is that when they get their turn, it's their first turn. They are not going to spawn Justiciars. So I really have this turn and all of next turn to be able to kill them. So this allows you a lot more flexibility in this fight. If you do manage to kill everything that first time, or in that first round of combat, you then are going to have really 2 full turns to be able to take everything else out. So since I'm starting here, I'm going to start with Will and see again if I can take out one here, because Will... I'm thinking here, because the question is going to be, if I move him down here, can I still target the Umbral Tremors or not? Let's just move down here to the bottom of the stairs real quick. Yes, I can. So we're going to move Will back here to the center.
Finding my way.
And that's because I'm going to delay his turn for a second. And I'm going to take Shadowheart up here and have her cause some damage to this one.
Time to deal some punishment.
Okay, so there's 10.
Forever dauntless.
So now with Will, is that interrupted? Yes. So it might not be, though. Can I just get past the corner? It doesn't look like I can. Okay, so for him, I'm definitely going to focus this one. Okay.
I'm ready.
Now here, I'm going to move over. Okay, so I can get through there.
Light on my feet.
And you're not going to get hardly any help, if any help, from the reconstituted entities in here against the Tremors. They go after the Justiciars, and that's really about it.
Time for some bloody work. These boots have seen everything.
Okay, so that was unexpected. It didn't happen in my personal playthrough. I had a full turn to be able to do it. So, disregard what I said earlier. They both spawn Justiciars. Like I say, that was unexpected. That did not happen in my personal playthrough. Again, I don't think it matters as much here. We have a 100% chance to hit, and that's within our minimum. So, not too worried about that. I'm just going to move Shadowheart right next to this Justiciar to hopefully proc some more reverberation and knock him prone here in a second.
No holding back.
Okay, now with Will... Okay. Don't need a crit. Aww. Okay, rolled really low on the damage roll there. Don't think it's going to be an issue, though. Perfect. Okay, now, for me here, I'm not going to go anywhere. I want to keep myself fairly spaced out or centrally located in the room because this is, like I say, not the last set of umbral tremors I'm going to have to deal with.
Let's get this over.
Oh boy, I do love that reverberation build. Even when they miss me, they're stacking reverberation. And when they're prone, of course, that means all melee attacks against it have advantage on the attack. So now you can see the deep umbral tremors have started to spawn. These have double the hit points, and this is what I normally expected to see. I guess it was in combat where it happens. They will spawn, but their turn is already ended. They're paused. So I guess it's if you don't kill everything on the first turn, you're better off, rather than killing people on everything on the first turn. I thought it was reversed. This turn, they're not going to spawn anything. So in these locations, you're free to wail on them for this entire first turn. So for now, I'm going to move because I can.
Got to move.
This umbral tremor here's got 16 hit points.
On the victor's path.
And now with Will, I should probably be able to get him into a spot where I can hit both. Yes. Even with advantage, that guy missed. And again, I'm not worried too much about the Justiciar.
Shouldn't have made me your enemy. Time to press ahead.
Okay, and that will end the fight, and it will open up the entrance to Balthazar's chamber here. Now, in the Paladin playthrough, we talked to Balthazar, and we took a mission from him to kind of clear the way to the Night Song. We're still going to talk to Balthazar, but then we fought Balthazar inside the Shadowfell. We are not going to do it that way this time. We are going to fight Balthazar now. And you'll see the differences in the combat. The combat in the Shadowfell is actually trivial if you fight Balthazar there. Here it's going to be quite a bit more difficult to do, but I think it's worth showing it here because a lot of people end up doing it this way without thinking about it very much. So in doing this, what I'm going to do is kind of split my party apart a little bit.
This way.
Actually, you know, now that I think about it, let's play this differently. I had another way I was going to play it.
Shouldn't have wished to live
But-
in more interesting times.
We'll just do this instead.
With haste, sharp as ever.
We'll play to our strengths here.
A long way to go still.
I've got a long road ahead.
No. Okay, we'll put everybody in hiding, and we're going to go in here. We're going to talk to
And,
Balthazar
well,
ourselves.
In it. Should mind my step.
Now again, flesh is here. The flesh golem. We also have a bunch of undead ghouls over here that again are not present inside the Shadowfell.
Ah, the interloper. And in one piece as well. Not just any true soul would have succeeded in following my path through this place. You should be pleased. General Thorn? Rubbish. Everything is at hand here. Zarel merely envies the General's faith in me. I am in the midst of a grand strategy. But you're here now, and I may be able to put those limbs to work. You know what's at stake here, I take it.
I do have a history check here. It's not going to be a very good chance for me. But I do have advantage.
You remember an ancient scroll rescued from an Amcathran monastery. It spoke of Balthazar, the monastic order's leader. Specifically, it recorded his death.
He didn't seem very legendary when I took his name. Naught but a pile of bones. Impressive tomb, though. But enough idle chatter. Keep to the matter at hand. You do know what's at stake here, yes? General form to you. But yes, recovering the relic is the crux of it. He commands, and I, his humble servant, fulfill that command. While you, an infinitely more humble servant, fulfill my command. I will put you to work as a scout.
Our first nat 20 of the day. A little early for that.
Fine, if it'll spare me your bleating. The relic lends the General his strength, his invulnerability. It must be recovered before his enemies attempt to exploit it. I do not need you or your help, but you are here in spite of that, so I may as well make use of you. The relic is close, but the way is barred and Shar's dead are uncooperative. Clear the path for me by blade, cunning, or whatever it takes. I will remain here until you have succeeded, or fallen.
I'm gonna try this persuasion check here. There we go. See, we're balancing them out, Philip. No worries. Should have full inspirations. Oh no. This is bad.
Fine. I will assign flesh to aid you on your way. Ring this bell, and he will come. My brother is no intellectual powerhouse, but he is strong, loyal, and punctual. Should a fight turn against you, remember the bell. Flesh will remain here until called. But don't fear, he has very sharp hearing. I chose his ears myself. Now, get to work.
Okay, so we received an item to summon flesh to us, and it's an item that only works in combat. I don't think... Well, this is what I want to test, because I haven't actually tried this. I don't know if we can summon flesh when we're in combat with Balthazar and his minions or not. So I'm anxious to see if we can. So, to do this, what I'm going to do is kind of move out here a bit and see what my ranged capabilities are, because again, this is going to put me in combat. Balthazar is going to immediately respond. He has
embalming fluid and
alert, which means he's going to gain a bonus to initiative, and he can't be surprised. He almost always rolls first on his rolls. Now, he's going to want to cast Ray of Sickness and Chill Touch and that sort of stuff, and he's going to do an additional 1d8 on this, so he likes to use ranged attacks quite a bit when he does this. So he's not going to normally use something that's going to want to paralyze me. But again, my pathing out of here to get to this door... Sorry, another cough. Is going to be a little complex because it's down here. There's no way through all of this. You have to move out here and around. So there's quite a bit of movement that's going to be required to get me out of this situation when I start it. So again, I want to just test the limits of how far out of here I can be. I do have Misty Step, so I'm going to keep that in mind. And I'm going to go ahead and start this off with him. I will roll Luck of the Far Realms. Okay, so I rolled horribly on initiative. And he is not in combat yet. So the Mark of Putrefaction is like Hunter's Mark or Hex or anything like that. It's basically a debuff that is going to make me vulnerable to necrotic damage for 2 turns. Not too worried about that with my armor class, but we'll see. Okay, so here I'm going to trigger a bunch of attacks of opportunity here, unless I Misty Step away. So I'm still going to trigger him when I Misty Step away. But I do want to get out of here. Oh, because I had to move to get to that point. I was like, why is Misty Step triggering an attack of opportunity? It shouldn't. That's because I had to move to get to that spot. You see me moving over there? Before I do that... No, I need to do it now, because I don't have my full action economy. Okay, and now I'm going to get into this by dropping darkness here. Now, looking at the reconstituted marksman, you see there's nothing in here about dark sight or anything like that. Balthazar doesn't either. Flesh here has dark vision, but that does not protect you against the darkness spell. So fighting in darkness is going to be very, very useful for me, again, as usual here. So I'm going to try and drop this a little bit forward.
I need to concentrate. Need to tread softly. Another fight. Let's go.
So Balthazar's now finally come into combat. Okay, now the reconstituted enemies out here don't have a whole lot of hit points, so I don't think I'm going to utilize Spirit Guardians right now at this point. %60 chance to hit.
Of caution never hurt.
Okay, and then Kurz should be able to come in here. And again, I want to get Kurz close enough so that I'm triggering Sentinel with him. And I want to change here. When he does this, but for now I'm going to focus on anybody else within range of this? No. Okay, so that should bring everybody into combat now. And actually I wanted that to be the Drake Throat Glaive instead because I want Sentinel to trigger from a longer distance. And all of the ranged attackers aren't going to be able to do anything.
Let us make short work of this.
Balthazar always hastes first. Okay, and now here... I don't think I'll be able to hit Balthazar. Yeah, I can't. We are going to want to make sure... Oh yeah, keep forgetting. He doesn't have it yet. He's got to level up again. Okay, roll the crit. Nice. Definitely going to move Will into the darkness.
No choice but to keep going.
Hers, I want to swap that back out. This is going to take his action to do it. Oh. He doesn't have his action, I forgot, because he's already used it. I don't want to use this, because he also needs to make that his pact weapon. I should have done all this beforehand, I just flat forgot about it.
My faith will protect me.
Shadowheart, I don't think is going to be able to do anything here. I could bring in Spiritual Weapon, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I'll hold off on it for now. I want all of them to get right up next to me. Every single one of them. So to that end, I want that off. Rolled a crit there. Nice.
No holding back.
Still a little too far for Balthazar.
Survival is all that matters.
Now, Kurz, I'm going to swap this out. That's going to take his action. And I won't be able to bind. Oh, can only be done outside of combat anyway, so... But I don't want the...
To put an end to your folly.
How was he able to cast Ray of Sickness into darkness? That's a good question. Ray of Sickness is level 1. He's casting it on me? That's an attack roll. I don't think he's going to hit. I was going to say, that's what I thought. You can't cast ranged attacks, ranged weapon attacks into darkness. So, that's why I was wondering why he was even able to cast it. But I guess he's going to cast it and it's just going to disappear when it hits darkness. So, Shadow Heart isn't going to do a whole lot. Her chances to hit here are pretty small.
No mercy.
I'm waiting for everybody to be grouped up here. Come on into the darkness. That's close enough. Dash. Okay, so for me, I'm interested what happens if I use this. Flesh is in combat with me right now, which would be an easy coding thing for the devs to do, that if he's in combat with you, not to allow you to use this. Okay, so yeah, it's coded not to allow it to work. I wanted to see if it was going to work or not, though. So I'm perfectly fine with my action being used there.
This is my time.
Still can't reach him. Can I reach that? Target is too far. It can't be very far. But I can't reach the destination anyway.
Can't even catch my breath.
Okay, can Kurz hit this? He can. Okay, might as well drop some damage back here.
You shall live to regret this.
Okay, and this is what Balthazar does when you're in darkness. Basically, not a whole lot. Flesh is going to be our only problem here. Did that knock him prone? Okay, so for me, I'll just drop a hit on the ghoul medic here. Drop another one.
On the victor's path.
I'm waiting for Flesh to get over here. He's just taking his own sweet time. And I don't want them knocked back. I do want to start causing some damage to Balthazar, though. Well, let's get rid of the ghouls first, if it's going to let me. Let's not do that.
Your time runs short.
And Balthazar just immediately skipped his turn. Okay, so Flesh is finally making his way around. He must be too large to be able to move through this passage here. And that's why he's having to move all the way around here. That's not a problem.
On the victor's path.
Oh, so much for peace.
Bleed for me.
Come on, big boy. And now I can start knocking them back, because I honestly don't care
My time.
at this point. What the goal here is to let them get close and then just start knocking them back farther and farther away each time. I've got enough people with Repelling Blast
Let's go.
that I can do this without much of an issue, I don't think.
Think you can take me on?
Or am I gonna have to move? Oh, disadvantage on that one. Let's see if I can stack some reverberation. That's a little more than half our movement.
Time to meet your maker.
Saved against reverberation.
On the move.
Oh, it actually did knock him prone. So it locked him in place. So, yeah, not going to be a whole lot that I'm going to do here except just chip away at him.
Another day, another fight.
Okay, so he's saved.
Battle favors the fearless.
We'll wait for Flesh to come in. There he goes. Alright, and now we're just going to start knocking him back.
Forever dauntless.
There's no knockback on that one.
Time to push my luck again.
There is knockback on this one. Oh, he's not going to be able to from that position, just because of how big and lumbering he is and can't fit through there. There we go. And for Shadowheart, let's see if we can... Okay, so he's now gotten upset. He's triggered his Berserk. So he's now gotten Barbarian-like abilities here by triggering Berserk. Again, not entirely too worried about it, though. I am going to move Shadowheart back a little bit. Oh!
My body
Okay.
will be the end of me.
Now, that I didn't expect. Is there something about Berserk? I always thought this was just Barbarian thing. Okay. That's weird. I guess this also has a condition where it just attacks the nearest person. I didn't realize that when I triggered it. I thought Berserk was like the barbarian Berserker rage, with all the resistances and that sort of stuff. However, it seems like it's just going to go after the nearest person. So I'm more than happy to let this play out here. I'm pretty sure I know who's going to win this, but I'm more than happy to let this play out. And I'm actually just going to let it play out. I don't care.
No holding back. Still breathing, despite everything.
I really like this. I really like this. The other thing that you noticed about those attacks... 62 bludgeoning damage. That's because the skeleton-based undead, and this is a D&D thing, are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. They're resistant to... or they take normal damage from other things, but maces and blunt weapons are better at cracking bones than like swords are. So that you can see down at the bottom, it's vulnerable to it, so it doubled all of the damage there. And that's why you saw 62 and 78 for the damage rolls there from him.
That favors the fearless.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to let him cast Cloud Kill. Why did my darkness go away? Cloud Kill's a level 5 conjuration spell. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be able to counterspell this. I'm not equal level to it. But we'll try it. I don't think it's going to work, though. Yeah. We'll say it shouldn't work. Okay, so now we're going to have to... Where did...
The blade will not bend.
Where did darkness go? Oh, that was round 10 already. Wasn't it? Yes, it was. I was like, why was he able to cast Cloud Kill on me when darkness is there? It wasn't. Darkness ran out on turn number 10. Okay, so we definitely need to get everybody out of Cloud Kill. Can't let them sit there in that.
Moving.
It would be really nice to be able to knock Balthazar prone. But I think... I'd prefer to get some more damage in on Flesh and knock him prone instead. Okay, so let's get everybody out of this, because it's starting to really hurt. Okay, that ends Balthazar.
This is my time.
That will remove Cloud Kill.
Finding my way.
Perfect. Okay, so couple of tactical mistakes there. One, I didn't have the right weapon equipped on Kurz, and that's because I hadn't taken a short rest, so I didn't have
These things have stayed interesting.
Kurz's circuitry interface available, which meant I was going to get possibly stunned by the Light of Creation. That's why I wanted to change it out. And then I made a couple tactical mistakes in doing that. So his weapon issues were the first thing, but then letting darkness run out so he was able to cast Cloud Kill on me was,
Never a
again,
dull
another
moment.
tactical mistake there. Otherwise, this would have been extraordinarily easy. So I'm going to take one of my short rests here.
The edge off.
Oh,
The pride of the gate.
good enough.
These things have stayed interesting.
So Shadowheart is probably going to have to be doing the
There's
searching
work to do.
and looting in here. Okay, but at the end of the day, you can see it's really not that difficult of a fight if you have darkness. They're just not equipped to fight in it. And like I say, with Balthazar, he doesn't even know how to really react to it. He just skips his turn every time. Until, of course, darkness runs out. So,
This way.
oops, another one here. Okay, so we'll go search flesh. Flesh is going to have some tumors
Shouldn't have wished to live in more
that we
interesting
want to pick
times.
up. And Balthazar. So Balthazar is going to have the Circle of Bones. We've talked about this. Hey, Ostamura, welcome. Yes, you certainly can, Philip. That's certainly a good use of darkness. You just have to be a little careful because you want to stay toward the middle of darkness, meaning that if you're in darkness and an enemy's able to stand just outside of the darkness and be able to still reach you with a melee attack, they are not going to be blinded on that attack. They're going to have a minus because it's too dark. But they're not going to be blinded on that. So you move out and then make sure you're well inside the darkness when you do it. That's an easy way to play darkness once you get access to the spell at level 3. In early levels before you have things like Devil Sight and that sort of stuff. So here you get the Circle of Bones. This gives you basic undead ward so that all undead that are allied to you within 6-meter radius are resistant to martial damages. And it also gives you the Animate Dead spell once per long rest, I believe. Yes, once per long rest, so you can create those undead. It's something, if you just want more followers, like you can come out of a long rest and create a bunch of followers around you, and an undead being one of them, because once you take the Circle of Bones off, the undead stays with you. So it's also one of those critical things for a necromancy build, if that's what you're going after. Then Undead Ward really ups the combat power of all of your undead that you summon.
Breathe deep and move.
Okay, and this gives us a chance to be able to loot things here that we would normally have to come back and loot afterward.
I'll take that.
Because we're not interested in getting into combat. And the first thing is Balthazar's chambers up here. So coming around the corner, you're going to have some rare crafting materials. Vermishka Tail, Gauth Eye Stalks that you can pick up here.
No traps, please.
You also have a rustic chest, which is going to have even more fairly rare crafting supplies. We do have some camp supplies. We're going to break our group and we're going to jump up here, because hidden in this corner is another gilded chest. And a bottle of grease. There's a carrion crawler tentacle here. This is all opening up some of the rarer crafting recipes that you can get. Balthazar's bed here. There's a heavy chest in the corner. Arrow of fire is always useful. And then down here we have some more. There's lost candle. Crafting supplies. We don't need the dead pixie or the broken moon lantern. Then over here in the corner we have another heavy chest with more crafting supplies. Okay, now the next thing is over here. You see there's this big black box. There's a vault door here. Okay, if you click on it, that vault door is definitely locked. Still didn't change out of my thievery stuff. Good job. If you lockpick this, it's got a DC of 30. Okay, now what that means for me is that with a total bonus of 7 here, even if I add guidance in, I would have to roll a 19 or a nat 20 for me to pick this door. So one thing I didn't check is whether or not I had a scroll of knock, and I do. The knock spell will allow me to unlock any non-magical lock of any difficulty class. Doesn't matter what it is. So that's why I save those for particularly difficult instances. So here you have the Callous Glow Ring. Now the Callous Glow Ring can be really, really interesting, and it can be one of those pieces that is essential for certain types of build. It does a flat additional 2 points of damage against any creatures that are illuminated. Now, how do we illuminate creatures? Well, it's pretty simple. We have a radiating orb reverberation build cleric in our party, which means that she is stacking radiating orb stacks on enemies every time she hits them with radiant damage. It's causing the radiant explosion, and those radiating orbs are spreading to enemies that are near them, not just the one that I attack. So then, once they have radiating orb,
there's no time to waste.
Radiating orb sheds bright light in an area around it. That means the target is instantly illuminated. So now at that point, whoever's wearing the Callous Glow Ring is going to be able to immediately be able to deal an additional 2 damage to that target that is illuminated. So I want to look, because I'm pretty sure I have these two here. Yes. So the Ring of Arcane Synergy is nice. This normally swaps out. Let's put the Wondrous Gloves back on. And this normally swaps out for the Strange Conduit Ring. Arcane Synergy is going to get me an addition of damage to my spellcasting modifier to my weapon attacks. which for me is going to get a +4 whenever I have it active, and I have to be concentrating for that. Oh no, whenever I deal damage with a cantrip. So, just looking for the best placement of it right now. Because I have the Ring of Twilight over here on Will, right? Yes. So I think the best placement for it is right here. So that I am now dealing an additional flat 2 damage against any target that's illuminated. So I can also put it on Shadowheart. However, there is better uses for it, I think, because I don't utilize her for melee attacks as much on this particular build. Okay, Ice Storm, Polymorph, Vampiric Touch, all good. I've already read the Teachings of Loss.
What's hiding here?
Even that little bit encumbered me. I'm gonna pick that backpack up. Why am I not putting any of these crafting supplies? Oh, because I got rid of my alchemy pouch. No, I didn't. It was just somehow glitched out or something. That was very, very weird. Oh, when I put it in there, it automatically picked everything up out of my inventory and moved it in there. That's an interesting mechanic that I've never seen before. So all of the crafting supplies were scattered throughout my inventory. As soon as I dropped an alchemy pouch in there, it automatically picked all of it up and put it in the pouch. That's interesting. I haven't seen that mechanic before. I'm normally never without an alchemy pouch. Okay.
Need to find a way forward.
Okay, so now looking at our map, we've cleared out all of this area with Balthazar, and we can start heading out this way. Down here. Now, we have a couple of different ways that we can go. We have not been down here yet. Why is this all opened up? On the map. Oh, that was from being above it. Okay. Yeah, the map doesn't deal with three-dimensionality very well. Okay, so we're going to head east over here and walk down and continue our exploring. Again, not being able to walk through doors. Okay, we have some more rats.
Brave the gauntlet of Lady Shar. Test body, mind, and spirit with her trials. Glory awaits the few who succeed.
And that is what's down this way. The trials are down this direction. We are not going to go to the trials just yet. It did open up the waypoint for the Gauntlet of Shar so we can get back here easily. We're going to continue heading east. Okay, and here you have least expected. So while obscured in shadow, the wielder has a 1d4 bonus to their ranged weapon attacks. Now, it's a very interesting wording here with ranged weapon attacks. So it specifically says weapon in it. I'm going to try something with this because I honestly just want to see if the wording on that is correct. We've seen incorrect wording on these before.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
And I want to know exactly what this does. So right now, if I go to will, so the attack roll was 8. So it added a +4 for proficiency, a +1 from something that it does not show, and 3 from the charisma modifier.
And I'm off.
Okay, so it's the same thing. So it is actually just weapon attacks. So if I use this here. Oh, while obscured in shadow. I'm not obscured either because of all these things that are lit up. And I'll need to get away from Shadowheart as well. Sorry, I'm testing this on stream. Okay, so there's Dark Veil Precision. Because there it says, as long as it remains obscured, the affected entity has a 1d4 bonus to ranged attack rolls, not ranged weapon attacks. Eldritch Blast is a ranged attack roll. So I'm anxious to see if that works on Eldritch Blast. Okay, so I'm going to have to cause damage enough to kill it. Or do enough to cause damage to it. Okay, so yeah, it's not, it doesn't show up in that roll. I'll bet if I use this. Yeah, there's Dark Veil Precision. Now it showed up. So this is what I was getting at with the text of it. The two texts are somewhat disingenuous about, well, one of the texts here in the tooltip here is a little bit disingenuous about what it really does. The actual tooltip on the weapon itself is a much better idea of what it actually does. At the end of the day, it's a +2 short bow that also has a weapon unlock of blinding shot. So you can do additional damage with it and possibly blind your target with it as well. So what least expected does is gives you, it gets rid of Hunter's Mark, and it gets rid of the advantage against monstrosity types for a +1, for a straight damage boost of +1, and the Dark Veil Precision attack. So when I'm inside my shadow, I'm going to be gaining an additional 1d4 bonus to all of my ranged weapon attacks. Plus, I'm going to have the ability to do the blinding shot whenever I want. So this is Bow of the Banshee, which is still better because I want to be able to frighten targets. The Darkfire short bow I don't necessarily need. Having haste available to me is nice, though.
Despite everything.
So I think I will leave it on will.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Sorry for a little testing there, but I had noticed the
Time to
difference
press ahead.
in the text boxes previously and was a little unsure about what the actual truth was. So we know what this is. This is the main entrance here where we solved the first puzzle when we came in. This is going to be the continuation toward the Shadowfell, which we are not going to be able to do yet. But we're going to continue making our way around.
Open up.
Just searching a little bit on our way. Nothing spectacular in any of these. And you see here we have a Displacer Beast. Displacer Beasts are very cool. They are one of the old school D&D enemies. Okay, now it's going to see me and take off running. It's perfectly fine. We're going to encounter it again later. Okay, we're going to get an autosave down here. You can look out here. There's nothing to see. Or nothing to go to out here, though. It's all just chasm everywhere. Now we have a choice. We have an option to... You can jump across this. Make your way up here to the top. But as soon as you walk out here, you are instantaneously going to be dropped into combat. You're not going to have any dialogue option choices or anything like that. You are going to be dropped into combat. Okay, we're going to continue on down this way. And the Displacer Beast is going to run in here again. I'm going to leave all this stuff on the ground for now. Okay, and the Displacer Beast is in here roaming around. Now I'm going to take my party in here and it's going to drop me into a conversation. Okay? And I'm going to let that conversation play out in a particular ways.
What the hell's
In a
been
particular
happening?
way. Because now you can see, here's the Displacer Beast, but we're also getting Maragons who are up above me, who are ambushing. Okay, and my see invisibility on my eye
There's something out there. I can feel it.
is what's revealing them. Yurgir actually failed his saving throw as well. And Yurgir is up here. This is the... Yurgir's an Orthon. Okay, these are fiends. And Yurgir is the one that Raphael wants us to kill. Now you see, he has Devil Sight. So he can see normally in both magical and non-magical darkness. The Maragons also have Devil Sight. So fighting in darkness is not going to grant you bonuses or to you or disadvantages to them. However, it is still going to protect you from ranged attacks. Because even though they can see you, they're not going to be able to shoot into it. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. We're going to continue walking in here until it triggers a conversation.
What's this? Fresh entertainment? But you're too fresh for this place, aren't you? There's a whiff of the surface to you. A new arrival, then. You burrow too deep, little rabbit. I don't talk to prey. There's something else, almost hidden by your fear stink. Cherries.
musk, and sulfur. Raphael! I can smell him all over you. Where is he? That perfume trickster swindled me. Trapped me. Where is he? Spit it out. Now!
Go on. Tell the bastard. All the better for us if he keeps Raphael busy.
Bargaining, are you? A Karator warlord once tried the same. I made him watch as I ate his concubines in young, then fashioned a codpiece from his skull. You can't help. It's not just walls that keep me here. Not the traps, the dark, or the creatures it hides. Something stronger holds me. A contract. Either I fulfill the contract, die trying, or forfeit my freedom. If I leave this place now, I'll become Raphael's slave. Raphael is no foolish story devil. His mind is different, sneaky. Listen. Spill all the blood sworn to the night. Silence all prayers. Smother each right. Wander Shar's halls, hungry to slay. Leave no justice here, alive to obey. Leave none to hear it, then be set free. This song is your oath. Swear it to me. Ah!
Well, that explains where all the Dark Justiciars went. There is almost an admiring thrum in the back of your mind. Your patron seems to enjoy a well-crafted contract. Especially one with a built-in loophole. The song's last couplet has a clause that's nearly impossible to fulfill.
That's it.
So he's responsible for the carnage down here. All those Dark Justiciars. Slaughtered.
Asking why doesn't get me paid. Hunting and killing does. Raphael mentioned something about an Asima. Meant nothing to me. I did my part. I filled these halls with ghosts. But Raphael's playing some other game. One that involves stiffing me. Anyway, enough prattle. The lyrics are clear. All who hear the song must die. Time to die.
Okay, so I have some persuasion options. I also have a bard persuasion option, which is going to give me advantage. So there's no reason for me to take the regular persuasion options when I can throw advantage on top of that. Okay, now what this is going to do, though, however, I think I want to take this one instead. These two are going to make him kill the Maragons that are around you. Now that can be very useful, getting them out of the fight. Because again, they're all wearing Maragon masks, which means that for every one of them that's around, they have a +1 bonus to strength, dexterity, and constitution, and a -1 to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So they can get some pretty serious bonuses when they're all grouped up like this. So these two options are going to make him kill his Maragons. There will then be another persuasion option after that, for you to say, basically, your Displacer beast heard your song, and she's still alive, and you can convince him to kill her as well, so then it'd just be a one-on-one fight. between the two of you. I want to leave all of them alive for now, so I'm going to try this option first. It does not have advantage, but I have a lot of other bonuses.
I spent a century roaming these halls. I spilled every drop of dark Justicia blood that there was to spill. And you think you can do better? Go on then. I'll enjoy watching you fail. But try to run, and you will regret it. I may be trapped here, but I'm not without friends. If you break your word, they'll hunt you down and make your final moments a symphony of agony.
Okay, and now everything is diffused a little bit. And you see one of the Maragons is actually a traitor. Now, you're going to get disapproval from everybody in your party here. And if you have a Astarian with you and you've talked to Raphael and you have to kill Yurgir to get Raphael to tell you about the scars on his back, Astarian's going to be even more upset about this. Okay, so we're going to go over and talk to the hoarding Maragon here because he's a traitor.
I should speak up.
I haven't actually used this. Okay, nice roll.
Master's coffers, tend to his beast.
Right.
Feed it potions, keep it charmed.
It seems this Maragon is using potions to charm a beast on behalf of its master.
Okay, so you can get the potions that it's using here.
The desire is there, but it doesn't have any potions to give.
Okay, so we're gonna trade with it, and you did receive a Maragon potion here. We'll look at that here in a second. So here we do have crawler mucus, so I definitely want to pick up some of these, as many as you can get. Crawler mucus is a paralyze for 10 turns type of coating for your weapon, which can be extraordinarily useful later on. So I want to see what else we have here. Necrotic and radiant resistance we're definitely going to pick up as well. And we'll pick up the potions here. Okay, you do have some more of the rare crafting supplies. Scroll of Eyebite is not too bad. Scroll of Wall of Stone, that's actually really good. 640 gold, though, for it. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to hold off on that. Okay. So, now I do have Speak with Animals, but I want to make a check here. So, I need... I don't have anybody who's great at it. So, Arcana is +4. but investigation is bad on everybody. Okay. It's going to be some hellish rolls to make here. But we'll do it with Will because of his bonus to
I'm off.
Arcana. Is there any way I can buff that beforehand? Okay. We're gonna go up and interact with, well, yeah, we're gonna go up and interact with the spider meat.
What have we here?
Yeah, good call, Lord Henry. I was just about to click on it. I do. Good call. Again, love my chat. Well done. Because, yeah, that's going to give Will an additional +3 bonus to all of these. And I believe these are both intelligence-based checks. We're going to go talk to the Displacer Beast first.
I have something to ask.
What business do you have in my master's den? I am my master's heart chosen.
You smell sour milk and rot on its breath. This creature has been eating charmed spider meat.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting because I hadn't ever gotten the potions before from the Maragon trader. Normally what you do is you interact with the meat. The meat gives you an investigation check at the start to find out that the meat has a potion spread all over it, and then you pass an Arcana check, and you learn that that potion is a charm potion. And then when you talk to the Displacer Beast, you have the option to tell it that it has been charmed by your master. Here, we passed a persuasion check against the Maragon trader and learned that it was the one that was charming the meat for the Displacer Beast. So now we can pass another persuasion check here, which we are very, very good at, to possibly end up at the same discussion. Didn't even need all the bonuses. That's going to be a huge roll. 32.
I remember. Quick flesh, hot blood. Before Master, my prey was alive. False Master, hind-legged liars all! I'll shred you!
Now, here is where things get interesting. Because this roll here is going to be bad. Okay, and I've lost favorable beginnings on this roll. But I have a DC of 30 to pass this. Now, what this means right now is that I need to roll, with guidance, I need to roll a 10 to, or I need to roll a 17 at the lowest, or a 20 at the highest to pass this. I can put advantage on this, but I'm not entirely sure if that breaks guidance or not. No, it does not. So I need to roll a 17, 18, 19, or 20 and hope for something good from guidance here to pass this DC check. So this is the option here that throws a kink in the works, because you get favorable beginnings only on the first check against a particular entity. I would love to have that +4 right now from favorable beginnings, but because I didn't do the investigation checks and the arcana check on the meat, I had to persuade it the first time that it was being charmed. So now I lose that +4. That's something I didn't think about when I had played this myself, so the chances of me making this are really, really low. Roll a 4. Roll a 4. I'm going to use one more inspiration and that's it. I'm getting tantalizingly close. Last one. Nope. Well, I took my shot there. Any of those I would have passed if I'd have had favorable beginnings. And that was, like I say, one of those plays on my part that I should have done differently. I should have played it the way I'd played it in my testing, where I had done the intelligence and arcana checks instead. That way I would have favorable beginnings on this check and I would have already passed it on these. So, you know, what do I use inspirations for, right? Oh, I'm so close on all of these. Oh, okay. Well, we tried our best. So now things are going to kick off.
Bold words pray, but I kill who I please.
Okay. So this is the standard fight that you're going to get into here with Yurgir and the Maragons. I was going to have this fight anyway. I was trying to just convince the I was going to try and convince the Displacer beast to fight for me in this fight, because that's what you do. Once you pass that check, you convince it to fight with you, and she will say that she's not going to start the fight, but whenever you start the fight, she will fight with you. And she's actually, you know, really good in the fight. She's pretty hard to stay alive, or to keep alive, because there's so many Maragons in this fight, and they tend to go after her quite a bit. But if you can, there's a conversation afterwards where she will just say, "This is my place now, just leave," and that sort of stuff. You don't get any bonuses for it or anything like that, but I did want to try and illustrate it. I'm just unfortunately not able to on this time. So we're going to start things out as usual here. And we are going to very quickly get swarmed by Maragons coming through here. So going to drop darkness a little bit farther this way. Okay, and again, this isn't going to give me benefits here. As far as them being able to get inside the darkness and attack me, it is going to keep Yurgir and others from using their crossbows against me, though.
Still breathing, despite everything. With haste.
interesting. I've never seen him cast Featherfall before. Okay, so the Displacer Beast is now prone because it missed me when it attacked. So that stacked up Radiating Orb and Reverberation and knocked it prone. Let's see the resistances here. They're resistant to poison, cold, but Radiant and Necrotic, they are both not resistant to. Okay, so we're gonna move in here and pop Spirit Guardians, the Radiant version. I don't care about breaking Guidance now. And let's up this to level 4. They're going to drop out spiritual weapon over here to maybe keep the Displacer Beast occupied. Yurgir is going to be the wild card here. Oh, really? Okay, we're not going to drop a Divine Smite there. I'm going to move him back into the darkness some more. I'm going to save his action surge for Yurgir. They're all grouping up nicely here as well. Okay, rolled a crit there. Nice. Okay, now I really want to get rid of the Displacer Beast here. Oh, I'm threatened. Oh, I forgot, because they have halberds, which have that horrifically long engagement range. Okay, now I'm no longer threatened. Wow, so my hit chance actually went down.
Still on my feet.
Okay. What am I, lagging or something? That was weird. My first one didn't even register. Okay. Thank you for jumping in there. I appreciate that. Something weird is happening here. Really? Rolled a 15. Oh, we're just stacking radiant damage on everybody. I actually love the fact that they're going after Shadowheart. Because every time they miss, it just stacks more damage. So... Okay, so I could drop a hunger out here. And that would keep these other ones back here from getting to me as quick. I wish I could see where that overlaps me. But again, I would prefer to hold his spell slots for... Wow. Come on. It's an 88% chance to hit. Thank you. I'm going to move up here around, so if they go after Shadowheart, maybe I'll trigger Sentinel. What was that? Wait. Wait. He shoved his own Maragon out of Spirit Guardians. That's actually impressive. I mean, it's not going to save it, but it was an impressive way to go about it. To try and remove it from a harmful condition. Okay, well that gave some Radiating Orb stacks to somebody, so he's got a -6 to hit. And a -4 to hit.
Fight's gotten stale, rabbit. Stop embarrassing yourself. Let me end this.
Okay. I would have preferred that crit to go on here, but I'm not going to react. Not with -4 to hit. That crossbow shot should not have been able to work. Even though they can see into darkness, that does not mean that you can still shoot ranged attacks into it.
Come on, can't stay idle.
Would like to be able to get rid of this one. Good shot.
Can't afford to let up.
Yurgir has now finally decided to move around a little bit. He's somewhere down around here. Okay, you can see where he is. He's right here. See my movement. There he is. So he's right here. I'm hoping he comes around farther. Not gonna react. Okay, now you come up here, please. Keep missing. You're just gonna keep getting damaged by by reverberation. And there's actually a streamer out there that's gone through and done nothing but killed enemies with reverberation throughout the entire game. It was actually pretty funny to see. So, no, it's actually it will not be working against enemies that are illuminated by radiating orb inside darkness, because I think those two cancel each other out. Yeah, pass interrupted here. Actually, but if I move to there, is pass still interrupted? Okay, a nice crit.
I can't even catch my breath.
Is it still covered in radiant orb? Yes, it is. So now from here, though, ooh, that's gonna hurt. Actually, let's just turn that off. But here, again, the Callous Glow Ring, 2 points of damage against creatures that are illuminated. This creature is illuminated with Radiant Orb. It is not in the darkness with me, so it should be applied here. And yeah, see, there's the additional 2 that popped up. But yes, when they are inside darkness with you, darkness cancels out any of the illumination that happens in there. So it's really, what it's really allowing me to do is to cause an additional 2 damage with my Eldritch Blast or ranged attacks or something like that I'm casting outside of it. If I choose to step outside of the darkness, if there's somebody right out here and do it, I could do a melee attack and cause 2 additional damage there.
Got to keep fighting.
So I'm gonna wait here for a second and see what Yurgir's gonna do. Okay, so I am going to move because this is combat round 6. So remember, my darkness is going to be going away here in a second. I want to try and drag Yurgir down here.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Okay, and he's just not interested in coming down. So let's start making our way towards him.
Light on my feet.
We're going to keep Will back in the darkness here
Well,
for a little
so much
bit
for
longer.
peace.
For me, again, I'm going to move down here
Another step forward.
because there he is. He dropped out of blindness. So now I'm going to go back and get my turns back. Ooh, nice crit. So let's go back and get Will's turn back here. Yeah, I don't think this is a problem. See if I can get him in a spot where he can hit. He can. Oh, I missed both.
Nothing important is ever easy.
Need to stay focused.
Okay, and for Shadowheart, I should have done this before my Bard went. Only a 30% chance to hit. A 12% chance. These are intelligence based, so they're going to be even worse. Okay. So that should have stacked Reverberation and Radiant Orb. It did. Now he's not going to be able to move.
Another step forward.
And I don't have anything here to be able to do it with, I don't think. I could cast Shatter here. Because he didn't move. Okay, and Will's going to again. And we want to make sure we kill him here as quickly as we can.
Where do I go from here? Very well.
So 85% chances here. Let's start using a flourish. Oh, that was a big, nice hit. 26. I like that. Okay, so that ends that fight. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go because of the Displacer Beast, but that was really due to a miscalculation on my part. I should have investigated the meat first, and we can go. You can go see what this does.
What have we here?
I believe there's 2 checks.
Well-chewed spider carcass oozes on the ground.
Here's your investigation check. And these are both 14s, I believe. So I could have added in my bardic inspirations or guidance to do it. Or just not need it at all.
Fresh bite marks, an old puncture wound, and a faint pulse of something not entirely natural.
And now here you have an Arcana check, and we're going to be getting advantage on this check. So, okay, so this one goes up to 16. Woof. And we've used all our inspirations. So, but we would have had 4 inspirations there to be able to make that check. And once you do, then it opens up another dialogue option with
There appears to be nothing out of the ordinary.
Displacer Beast, where you can tell it that it's been charmed. You can go through giving it a lick. You will pass a Constitution. You have a Constitution check that's passive in the background to do a saving throw on it to avoid being poisoned and that sort of stuff. And your characters, the other characters in your party, will give you a rather interesting set of dialogue to go with it about licking dead things. And if you have a Starian in your party, it actually gets just plain hilarious. with him talking about you licking random things and, you know, Wistarian. So it can actually get very, very funny. So we'll go through and just do some looting here, and Shadowheart is still probably it. So we'll check the Displacer Beast. Nothing.
I'd better take a peek.
Don't think there's anything in the rib cages. We'll search the Maragons. They're all going to have a halberd. The Hoarding Maragon is going to have a couple of other things, if I remember right. Yes. It's going to have one of the purple worm toxins and those 2 very rare scrolls. And then we can move back over here and do a little more searching, and then I'm going to have to take a very quick break here, but let's finish up some of the searching back here. Here you have the Boots of Brilliance. These are great for your bard. As a class action, once per long rest, you can restore one of your bardic inspiration slots. So something that you can use outside of combat to restore your bardic inspiration.
Still breathing.
So I've got 3. Wherever it put them. Here. I now get a class action to restore it. Goes back up to 4, and now I can replace these. So just a way to get that back after when you're out of combat. So very, very useful. I am, of course, encumbered here.
I'm ready. Have to keep pushing.
Okay, and don't forget there are piles of viscera you can search that are also around here. And I will be right back. 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. As I'm sick, I am drinking a lot of extra water, and that just caught up with me during the stream, so just needed a break there real quick. Lick the thing, yeah. No, I'm not going to. Y'all can go watch the myriad of YouTube videos of people licking the spider. and see it yourself. It is pretty interesting, but I don't need to, so I'm going to skip it. Okay, so that's going to take care of everything in this room. And now we can loot Yurgir. Yurgir's going to have an infernal metal. He's also going to have the Hellfire hand crossbow. So possibly inflict burning when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. So this is a great starter weapon for your thief rogue types, where you can start off your ranged attacks in hiding, and you will possibly inflict burning, and then this goes hand in hand with the Firestoker hand crossbow, which you can have in your offhand, which does an additional 1d4 against burning targets. So this allows you to kind of add an additional set of damage to somebody who can get that attack off from hiding. And again, you can do that with a lot of different characters. You can also hide inside of darkness automatically and never fail it. So this does allow you to double up that damage as well from inside darkness. As long as you're not in a detection cone, your hiding is guaranteed to work. And since things are blinded and or can't see through darkness, you can hide all of the time inside darkness. However, that hiding for us takes an action. This really comes into play again if you're utilizing your rogue classes with the thief ability, because then you can use one of your bonus actions to hide. You can use your action to fire this, and then your bonus action to fire the Firestoker all in one turn. So this can get very, very useful in some setups, and it is going to go to Astarion, so when we bring him back into the party, that's what we're going to focus on his build being. Now, we have the Orthon's bed here. And something that not a lot of people know, we can search the skeleton here, is that you can cast Speak with the Dead on the bed.
A tangle of corpses gape at you, lifelessly.
The dust is in attack. Exploding. Scattered. Prepare ready. Sun, Shar. Training, planning, worship. The blood of Shar's warriors. Just servants, justicians.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, and this gives you information about a completely alternate way to play the Yurgir Raphael interaction. This is telling you something else. These are all dead Dark Justiciars. If you listen to the song of Yurgir, Yurgir was tasked with wiping out all of the Dark Justiciars. However, the bed there said that there's one Dark Justiciar that survived, that got split into many, and that Dark Justiciar still being alive is the reason that Yurgir is still under his contract with Raphael. That's why his contract was basically unbreakable, is because there's one Dark Justiciar that's still alive. This bed hints at it. We also picked up something a little bit ago talking to the rats, and that they were one who has been split into many. And if you leave this encounter alone, and you go and you have an encounter that we're going to have here in a little bit, then you can free Raphael from his contract. and you can convince him to side with you in the encounter with Raphael in Act 3. But to do that, you have to find and kill that last Dark Justiciar, to release him from his contract. Okay? So, kind of one of those things to keep in the back of your mind about multiple different ways to play this out. Here is the real reason that you took on this encounter, though, and that's for the Umbral Gem. We're going to have Shadowheart pick these up. That's going to be the first of 4 that we need to get to progress our way through to the ending of the Gauntlet of Shar. Okay. So now we're going to head out here.
I'm ready. Whatever it takes.
I'm going to take my second short rest.
Freshened up and ready to fight.
No, never mind.
Okay, so from where you were here, you can jump across here and make your way down this way, if you would like. I don't believe, actually, we'll just go over here real quick. I don't believe there's anything on this. Actually, I can't remember if the stash is over here or not. So I'm going to go jump over here real quick.
Anything of use?
I know there's a couple of skeletons here that you can loot. Can't remember if either one of them has anything. Okay, so yeah, crafting supplies here. And I could jump down there at the bottom. I just don't want to take any damage going down there. We'll get everybody grouped up and we're going to head down this walkway here. Okay, so a couple of different ways you can go here, and
My faith protects me.
I don't think...
well, in it.
Oh, I do have it on Will. So Will has Enhanced Leap. He can cast this over and over and over again as a ritual spell.
No time to rest. The pride of the gate.
Really? Pathing?
Let's get going. Moving ahead.
Okay, there is some incense you can pick up.
What's inside?
Then you have a stone door here. Looks like you've already been in here, but you haven't. This is down on a lower level from the upper one that we've been to. And in here you have a gilded chest. Going to put our lock-picking stuff on.
Come on, open up.
Okay, and this is an 18 DC. Some arrows and some gold.
a mirror before it was smashed.
Okay, so you have the Mirror of Loss here. This one's broken.
The mirror is shattered and beyond any use.
Okay, you are going to encounter a real Mirror of Loss later. And that Mirror of Loss can have some profound effects on your characters.
In darkness, truth. In shadows, justice. In the Dark Lady's name. Always.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay, so I need Shadow Heart.
Let's get on with it. Onward then.
Aww. Roll a 5. Okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to pass this with anybody else, I don't think.
Is that blood? No, never mind. Best be on my way.
Can't afford to stay idle. You need some support.
Looking ahead. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Didn't figure he was going to have a fairly bad chance of doing it. Will is going to have my best chance here left because of his proficiency.
Wits and blades always sharp.
Defender of the people.
But it's a really high DC. Yeah. And we're just rolling. We're just rolling horrible numbers.
All right. What now?
So, yeah, this little broken plate on the ground will allow you to search. And we'll have some stuff in it, but you can't dig it up or anything like that. Okay, so Will's going to cast Enhanced Leap again.
Still alive, so that's progress.
And we'll get everybody back where they were.
With haste.
Blade at the ready.
My faith will guide me.
Where am I needed? Can't get up now.
And this is again just because it's too far for me to make it. Remember, I spec'd out of strength on all of my characters except Shadowheart. Shadowheart could probably make these without it since she is spec'd back into strength, but nobody else would be. So having Enhanced Leap is very, very useful. So we're going to head down the cragged rock here.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
And anybody can make this jump back up. Okay, and now you can see down here all of the rats. Now that we've made 2 hostile attacks against them, and we have refused his offer of treasure all of the rats are down here waiting for us. So I'm going to put everybody in hiding. I'm going to split my group.
Any mistakes?
I'm going to bring Shadowheart out of hiding here. And I'm going to trigger Spirit Guardians before she goes down there. And then, while it's still running, have her go down the cragged rock.
The rat utters a defiant hiss. Bloodlust fills its little black eyes.
Okay, and now we just let this play out.
These hands. Too big. Where are the others? Where's the rest of me? You! Why did you have to keep prying? Why couldn't you just leave? My side is dead. Just piles of old bones lying in the dark. You're nothing to me. Such ignorance is unworthy of the Night Singer's followers. Her church will be stronger once you are dead.
Okay, and this will bring you into combat with Lyrthandor, who happened to be within range of Spirit Guardians and took radiant damage and reverberation and fell prone. So Lyrthandor is the last Dark Justiciar. Lyrthandor is the reason that Yurgir's contract could not be fulfilled, because Yurgir didn't realize that he was a bunch of rats, and that he had to kill all of the rats in the place to get Lyrthandor to take on his original form so he could kill him. So a diabolical setup by Raphael to take advantage of Lyrthandor's condition here to basically fool Yurgir into signing a contract that he couldn't fulfill. However, it's even more diabolical than you think. And we're going to find out more about that after we're finished with this. Okay, so we're going to have advantage on all of these attacks because he's prone.
Let's not get caught off guard. On my way.
And I can sneak right up next to him because when he's prone, you have no detection cone. I'm going to risk the stun effect here. Okay, and that will end that fight. You can now
Next, I wonder.
recast Speak with the Dead on Lurthendor.
Corpse seems willing to speak,
Oh, of course.
but not to its killer.
And while we're here, now we'll recast Speak with the Dead.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Man appeared. Offered help. Raphael.
The corpse remains silent. It does not know.
Trials. Sacrifice. But she rose. Sought Shar. Sought oblivion. Wife. Daughter. Plague. Nothing left.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
So now you learn even more of the truth behind this. Raphael was the one
So,
who
that's progress.
turned him into a bunch of rats. So basically what he did was made a contract with Yurgir to get him to come down here and kill all the Dark Justiciars. But then, knowing that the contract was going to be fulfilled at some point, and the Orthon and Yurgir could be free to do whatever he wants, including come back after Raphael, he trapped him down here by turning Lurthendor into a group of rats. Just stepping aside, breaking the fourth wall a little bit, the writing that it took by the devs to come up with that diabolical scheme is pretty amazing. It fits perfectly in what a devil would do, so it makes perfect sense, but it is severely diabolical, and I love the writing behind it. That's just awesome. So on Lurthendor, you're going to find two things. The Justiciar Scimitar. So if you attack with advantage, you have a chance of blinding your target. Now remember, we're always going to be attacking with advantage when we're inside darkness and the enemies can't see in it. But if they can't see in it, then they're already blinded. However, this also works with all attacks, meaning you can do it ranged as well. So this would, if you have this equipped, it could apply to your ranged attacks that you are making out of the darkness, which has some very, very interesting uses. I actually want to try and test this out. I'm actually going to send this to Will because I want to see what that actually does as far as ranged attacks. I want to know if I can get blinding with his Eldritch Blasts if he's inside darkness. That's kind of what I want to check and see. You also get the Justiciar's Great Shield. So for this you have a class action of Darkness Cloak. You also have advantage on perception checks, which is really good. Shield Bash we know about, but Darkness Cloak once per short rest, you can create a small cloud, a 2-meter cloud of darkness, like the darkness spell around you, and immediately attempt to hide when you're using this. And then you will hide because you're not being able to be seen by anybody. So it's a way to hide while at the same time cloak yourself in darkness and avoid ranged attacks or anything like that. Also allows you to not be in anybody's detection cone in that 2-meter area because it's like your own personal darkness spell. So can be somewhat useful. Again, I'm going to test out a couple of things on this. But looking around down here, we have a one becomes many. And this is Raphael's contract. So Raphael came down here, and there are many creatures inside of you. Your weakness can become strength. If it is made legion, become your finest self. All of them. So Raphael turned him into rats to trap Yurgir down here to keep him from fulfilling his contract. Like I say, just diabolical.
I should take that.
You also have a cracked Helm of Shar down here. Nothing special about it, just Constitution saving throws +1, but it does look pretty cool. And we need to swap this out. Back again with Shadowheart.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
And yeah, just blank walls behind the waterfalls, so nothing to search here. Okay, so now we can head back up. And there's nothing to see over here. We can just go open up the rest of the side of the map real quick, but you can climb up here, but there's nothing to do up there. So now we're going to make our way back up.
Might be useful.
A few things that we can search around here.
On I go.
All's well that ends not as bad as it could have. Let's be on my way. What's in here?
Okay, now you can see that there have been some absolutists down here. This one obviously didn't fare so well. But we have instructions from B is Balthazar. Investigate strange singing. Ascertain the connection to the relic. Do not deviate. Return promptly. This might overload Shadowheart. Yes. Because of the plate mail, which is just incredibly hard, and I want to...
Defender of the
He's
people.
not proficient with this. Oh, he is proficient with this. Okay. So I want to see if his Eldritch Blasts, which are an attack with an advantage, it's a ranged attack, will blind a target or not. So I'm willing to give up. I'm not really dealing a whole lot of frost right now anyway, because I don't really need to for these encounters. But I want to check and see if I can blind with his ranged attacks now.
Stop me yet.
When he's in darkness, of course. And a gilded chest here with some good potions. Okay. And there's nothing else to see out here. This is all chasm. Okay, so now when I'm out here, I can fast travel back to the Gauntlet of Shar. Okay, so now checking the map, you can see that we have searched all of these areas. This was Balthazar's room, the treasure room. This was back where the cloaker was. This is the start where we came in. So we've been over here and looked at all of this. However, there are some areas that are still blanked out. And part of that... Actually, I'm not sure why that is still there. We're going to head east real quick one more time just to see what I missed. I thought I got everything over here. I could be wrong, though. I think I know what that is, but I want to check it. And if it is, I can just fast travel back to the Gauntlet of Shar again. Okay, yeah, that is what it is. So it's just this upper way in here. But because it's going to drive me crazy, I have not been diagnosed with ADD, I just have a lot of the features of it. Up here, once you get up to this spot, you can deviate off to the left here. And I believe there's a chest up here. Yes, there is. With some more crafting supplies. And that should have opened up all of this, yes. So now we can head back to the Gauntlet of Shar. And again, the gauntlet's behind us here. On the Paladin playthrough, we went through this utilizing Shadowheart. I'm not going for role-playing purposes. I don't really care about doing that. So again, orders from B. Seek the means to access the relic. Search in the library. Do not deviate. Return promptly. So again, from Balthazar. Sending out people to search for the relic. And they're not...
Nothing of value comes easy. Overcome my trials. Enter in my embrace.
They don't seem to be succeeding too well. Okay, so we have our first trial here.
Her most vaunted treasure.
But we're gonna skip the trials.
Countless initiates walked these halls once, seeking to become Dark Justiciars.
Okay, this talks more about the Gauntlet of Shar and what you had to do here.
I will succeed.
Better take that. What to do? What path lies before me?
Okay, here's the second trial. Again, we're gonna skip it. The reason we're skipping these is because we don't really have a whole lot of time left in the live stream. There's something else we can do down here, and then we can do the trials at the start of our next live stream. Right here's the third trial. And again, while you're in the trials, your goal at the end of each trial is to get another Umbral Gem. So that you'll end up with a total of 4.
No one back home will ever believe this.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
You'll just have to wait. What do you... Philip,
What now?
spoilers. Right. See, you expect me to give you spoilers here? No way. You will just have to wait and see. And even that one dagger encumbered her. Okay, and now you have a library here. Now, we are going to put everybody back here around the corner. Hide everybody. Break the group.
What path lies before me?
Okay, now you can see there's an aura happening here. And inside you can see dark justiciars that are in here. Okay, and these justiciars are going to be patrolling around the inside here. Once you walk into this aura, you are silenced. So all of your spell casting goes out the window. Now, the librarian here in the middle, just like all librarians do, they are the thing that is causing you to be silent.
Can't risk being in open view.
Okay. Fortunately for you, with stealth, you can just attack it from all the way up there and remove it. And now the silence aura has been removed. Okay, so we want to make sure we have our repelling blast on. Okay, so it took them a while to find me, which is good because I was able to kill one entirely and do half damage to another one. So now, Dark Justiciars they have Shar's sight, which means they cannot be blinded. Okay? These are, however, undead. These are not live Dark Justiciars. That's why they do not count against Yurgir's contract, which means that they are vulnerable to radiant damage. Now, they also have some other effects that go along with them. They can shadow jump, just like a lot of the other things that we have seen. So I'm going to move myself back here out of the way, so I'm out of line of sight,
My feet can carry me.
and end my turn. There's the Shadow Step ability I was talking about. Now remember, Shadow Step only works from shadows to shadows. So they cannot Shadow Step into light areas. Okay, so now I'm going to step back out here. Aw, critical miss. Okay, that wasn't fun. Okay, so now I'm just going to move farther back around the corner here, and I'm going to kind of wait for them all to group up. Again, I've got a 22 armor class right now, and again, I have the wrong gear on. My action's already used, so I can't change it. That's going to be the new thing, chat. Instead of binding my weapon, now you need to make sure that I take my thieving gear off. But I am going to move back around the corner so that they all come towards me. Hopefully. I ran into previously. I'm going to actually try and avoid that this time.
Keeping my head down. Strength in silence.
One of them actually turned and looked this way for some reason before he attacked me, so... But I want everybody to come towards me. There he went, looking the other way. Okay, now beckoning darkness kind of sucks. So if I'm in a lightly or heavily obscured area, I'm going to take 2d8 necrotic damage, which I don't necessarily like, so I'm going to counterspell that. I'm not going to bring Will into combat yet. Why didn't that counterspell work? Okay, so we shadow stepped all the way up there. Okay, so...
Death won't take me yet.
Yeah, I want to test something. Is it up here? No. I'd expected that this thurible would have kept me lit up enough that I wouldn't be in darkness. I'm gonna wait for the rest of them to come up toward me. Perfect. Not too worried about their martial attacks. This one, he just moved. Not a problem. Hurry up and get all the way up here, please. Thank you. Oh, wow. You actually hit me? Rolled an 18. Okay. Can't be too angry about that. Oof, that hurt.
My faith protects me.
Now the detection cone for this last one is really, really weird. So it wouldn't surprise me if Will gets seen here.
Heading there.
So a 70% chance to hit.
things have stayed interesting. No traps, please.
Okay. And now we're going to make our way down, and I don't care about that other dark justiciar up top. Now we're going to make our way down into the library. Now, the library has traps all over it. On these bookshelves that are trapped out here. But what I'm going to do...
What's next?
I will cast guidance here. When I make my way all the way to the back left corner down here,
How much farther can I go?
I may get some checks on the way.
Be wary.
Okay, so found out that that button is trapped. Okay, you have a skeleton here, and you have a closed library section here. You can read, and it says 4 controls adorn the walls. 1 permits entry. Place yourself at the center of the sanctum. Seek the northwest corner. Alright. So now if I place myself at the center, and I seek the northwest corner, you can see there's a button here. Okay, there are 4 buttons.
Seem to work.
Okay, now the other 3 buttons are trapped and will cause an explosion to happen. And see, now they've all turned off. So you can't access them anymore. However, there are...
I must keep going. Looks like a trap there.
Oh, critical fail. Oh,
Looks like a trap there.
rolled a 6. Oh, wow. I'm just getting horribly unlucky with the rolls here. And again. Okay.
Let's get going. At the ready.
Okay. We're just going to fail everything.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
Just fail after fail after fail. Okay.
Where am I needed? Ever onward.
Our next best chance is with Will.
Let's get on with it.
Sharp as ever. Heading out.
Watch yourself.
Okay, well, you found that one. I don't care about finding the buttons, because I don't need to utilize the buttons anymore. However, these 2 bookshelves. Okay, well,
Let's get going. Light on my feet.
just gonna fail the crap out of them all. I guess this is what I get for that nat 20 that I rolled really early on. Now when I get really late,
Yeah, another step forward.
all these, that roll's coming back to bite me. Yeah, I didn't expect he was going to. He wasn't going to be getting anything out of it. Okay, so I've already got my thieves gear on because I didn't take it off.
Boots have seen everything.
Let's group everybody up first. Okay, now if I fail this, I don't have any inspirations left. So the trap's gonna go off. And this allows you to search for these books. Okay. And here's a tome that talks to you about the self-same trial, which you don't really care about. I'm going to take some damage here. Oh no, not from this one. Okay, so I saved against Acid Splash, and here's Teaching of Lost the Night Singer. This is the one that you want. Did I get in there with guidance? I did. And you'll get a few extra minutes today because I don't want to leave this on a cliffhanger. We're almost done. And another tome of the self-same trial, which again you don't really care about. Okay, so we'll group everybody back up. We'll head into this center spot.
There's no time to waste.
Here we go.
Best avoid that trap.
Yeah.
No time to waste.
Just 1 out of 3. And you don't have to find these. I'm just really anxious to see how well that role play, how well D&D luck plays out here.
Be cautious. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
My faith protects me.
Because it is definitely coming back to bite me.
Need to find a way forward.
But like I say, you don't have to find these.
The pride of the gate. One move ahead.
They won't activate if you do the interaction correctly.
What's next, I wonder?
Okay, so we'll go in here with Shadowheart.
Need to keep going.
And we're going to interact with the Riddle of the Night.
What can
It wants you to insert an item. And that will open up this secret passage into the back here.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Okay, if you read all of these notes and all of these books that you're picking up in here, it will give you the clue as to which one of these tomes you need to use. So it's not like this is some random secret here. It will help you along finding out which one of those tomes you need to use. But it is the Teaching of Lost the Night Singer is the one that you want to insert into there. No, he can't, Philip. He's not good at finding traps. He won't point to them.
Trust
even
your
if he did
secrets to the night.
point to them, he's not detecting them. So you have a gilded chest back here in the back that has a dark justiciar helmet. So if you don't detect them, you can't interact with them. There's also the dark justiciar half plate here. And you have the Spear of the Night. Okay, so that's going to... Just want to clear up some of her inventory real quick. So she's got a little bit to pick this up. And then she's going to pick up the Spear of Night.
No ordinary spear. It may be important. Best keep it close.
And that got us another inspiration. Okay, so the things that we picked up on Shadowheart, we picked up the Dark Justiciar helmet. So you have a +1 bonus to saving throws against spells, which is great. While obscured, the number you need to roll a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. This effect can stack. Since we're always obscured when we're fighting, this is basically a -1 to your, or a +5% to your crit chance, is basically what it is. So I'm going to swap that onto Curse. The Dark Justiciar half plate. While you're obscured, the wearer has advantage on stealth checks. Meh. Advantage on Constitution saving throw checks, which is nice because your Constitution saving throw is concentration, so you'd have advantage on that. And you have Shar's Aegis, which is basically a Shield of Faith spell that you can cast once per long rest. The last thing that we picked up is the Spear of Night. And you can read this and it says, if Shar allows it, use this spear to kill Night Song. So, interesting. Something that we haven't heard about yet. And we're going to play more of that out as we get into next week, because that is a great place for us to stop. So, as a reminder, tomorrow afternoon, Central Daylight Time, 2 p.m. GMT -5 right now. The Paladin livestream will continue, and we are about to head into the Illithid Sanctuary beneath Moonrise Tower. So should be a fun time there, so please feel free to join if you can. As always, thank you, chat, for the interactions. I love everybody being here. I certainly appreciate it. Without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.